Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast with Bro Talk. We are here. It is Monday. We thank you all for joining us. We also in the back here, we're gonna go a little bit off of protocol for a second, but we got the birthday boy over here in the back. Let's shout him out for his birthday. How old are you?
9.
And tell him your name, just your first name.
Josiah Davis.
All right, Josiah David.
Happy
He's like, I'm gonna
birthday,
get
nephew.
happy birthday.
Another
Yes,
one.
and another one. Yes, want to shout the nephew out, and we got Proud Pops right here. Look, he doing a product. He doing a product showcase in the back there. He just wanted everybody.
He's like, yo, listen, let me be known. Like, yo, this what we got.
Lucy.
Yes, which is very fitting for the conversation we're gonna have in a little bit. But first, we want to check in with you brothers this Monday. How y'all doing today? Was today busy? Was it slow? What happened today?
Yeah, man. Today was a pretty busy day. I don't know, just kind of filled with meetings, but in between, there's always a lot of work to get done. So, yeah, man. It's Monday.
Monday.
For me, it was cool, man. You know, my boy just got back in town, so want to spend some time with him, picking him up, and took him to go get his phone that he wanted.
I have the cake right here.
He have it safe for me. He's showing his cake off too.
Nice
So,
cake.
I got a cake that I got him from the Amish market.
Okay.
I was gonna give you one.
So yeah, I know I need a slice now. It came from the Amish. I know I need a slice.
Yeah, and he's not even gonna eat all of it either, man. I wish I was close, but I really wish I
I'm
was.
not gonna eat all of the cake. I'm just gonna
Yeah, so that was it, man. Basically, man, just running around doing some things with him, taking him to get a little haircut, man, and clean him up and stuff like that. For his birthday, man. So that was my little, I'm back to zero.
Hey man, that's life, bro. That's how. Look,
It's
Yo,
all good. It's all good.
we
So-
thought he said. We thought he said he stayed at a hotel for his birthday. I was like, man, shoot. Chloe didn't stay at a hotel with her friends till like 11.
Nah, he went to Niagara Falls with his mom, man. So he was up in Niagara Falls.
Okay.
I thought that joke was gonna come back yesterday, but I don't get messages. I don't get certain messages, so I just let it be.
Had the extended stay, man.
Yeah, yeah.
B, what's up?
The extended stay.
What's up in your world?
Man, it was a good weekend. Bam, went up to Welland, Canada for the 7-on-7 tournament with CTC. They're another tournament, another trophy. You know what I mean? That's the 15U has been dominant this year. So man, shout out to G Hop and everybody connected with CTC. On another win. Congratulations to Jonathan Green Jr. JJ QB1. He won tournament MVP, second tournament in a row where he's taking home MVP. So man, just they balling, man. They balling.
That's what's up. Yeah, this weekend for me actually went by pretty quickly. At least it felt like, but I was kind of lonely this weekend. It was just me and the kids. My wife went out with her Lion sisters, had a good time where they went. So it was just me holding down the fort. So
Man up, man. Man up. Let's get out of here. Go do something with their line system. Man up, man. Come on. I was lonely. Don't
Hey,
say that.
man. I can't miss my lady though.
No, I'm not gonna say that. Hold on. First of all, it sounds like you try to get some brownie points. You know what I'm saying? You try to put it out there. I was with the kids and like so.
Yeah.
Yo, man, y'all can't be outing me on the show though, bro. Y'all can't be outing me on the show.
Now you outing yourself, bro.
You're not happy with your kids, man? That's what you're telling us. You're not happy with your kids.
Man, I had a great time with the kids.
He trying to
See? Y'all see this, right?
have a good night. So he's like, he trying to set up the good night. Like,
Y'all
oh,
see
I was
this, right?
missing it so much, you know.
Yeah, man.
I dig it,
Y'all
bro.
see
I
this
dig
in
it,
real
bro.
time.
Yo, come on, man.
I dig it.
But I had a good weekend.
Hold on, watch the screen.
Back, man.
I miss my wife so much being on the show tonight, right now. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I miss you so much. Why you making faces, Kareem? I'm trying to
you talk about that's what I'm saying. That's how I look.
I'm saying that right now myself, so I can so I can set up a similar situation. You tried to set you up a good night. I'm set myself up a good night too, right?
Yo, Isaac, you next? Go ahead. What you gonna say?
I just about to be like overtime.
Nah, she ain't going to work tonight, man. So I'm not shouting her out.
No, you low key. So, and we gonna move, but low key, I did something this weekend that I have not done in like an extremely long time. Right? I watched wrestling. It was WrestleMania for like wrestling fans. It was WrestleMania weekend.
Okay.
And so the reason I watched it was growing up. You know, my grandmother was like, man, I didn't even fix my face to be like, hey, are y'all gonna get that pay-per-view? I didn't even fix my face.
I don't think black folks bought pay-per-view. I'm just putting it out.
I know I wasn't going to remotely fix my face to ask my parents that. So with ESPN having this partnership now that you know what I mean that they have with the WWE, if you have unlimited ESPN, you had WrestleMania for free. So I was like, man, I feel like the 10-year-old me needs this to heal right now, because for all those WrestleManias that my parents was never going to pay for, I'm just going to watch, even though I really don't know outside of like Roman Reigns and a couple of other ones. I didn't even recognize a lot of these people. Like, never heard of most of them before. I know who Brock Lesnar is, and he, congrats, shout out to him on an amazing career. He retired after his match. But again,
he was still wrestling. Wow.
Yeah.
You like Fitty, eh?
He if not, he close. You know what I mean? Because you close. Oh. You know, so if he older than us, you know what I mean. If we close, that means he close.
Yeah, he close. Yeah, he close.
So the 10-year-old me was like, man, you know what? I gotta watch it for all those ones I couldn't watch. I didn't know many of the, like I said, I didn't know many of the players, you know, but I was like, it was some therapy in there.
Okay.
They're actors. You know, they're really actors, but athletic actors. That's what we'll call
it's all good.
That's the fun behind it, man. You know, 10-year-old us didn't know that. We thought it was real.
Nah, I was watching them punches. I knew that.
Listen, I don't care how fake them punches are, man.
I think they hurt.
Them ladders and tables.
Yeah.
Some cats was getting slammed on tables and ladders, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care how much they teach us how to land on them.
That's some good acting, though.
You still gonna feel it. Now this ain't acting, this stunt doubling. Like, now we're about to stunt double.
Yeah, more like stunt singling, because ain't nobody stepping in
right.
to do that. Heck nah. But hey, bro, so we want to kind of get into the show here, and today's topic is around just looking at the landscape of childhood. So Balel, you just told a story about pay-per-view. Now, for those of you that were not born in the 80s and the 90s, you probably don't know what pay-per-view was, but back in the day when there was special viewing on television that didn't come on regular cable, you had to pay for it. And that's why they called it pay-per-view. And if you lived in a black household, I would say the majority, because I don't want to say all, but most likely your parents
we know you got it.
Said heck no to pay-per-view. You're gonna wait till it come out on the rerun. Then you can watch it. Nah, we didn't do a pay-per-view in my house, man. My youngest brother, though, he bought something on pay-per-view. Yo, my dad was not happy about that. Matter of fact, it was wrestling. Out of all things, it was wrestling. So
Hey, I'm glad you said it was wrestling, because for a second I was
oh
worried.
no, not
I
that.
was worried for your brother. I got real nervous for him.
Yo, listen, man. Pay-per-view was before the internet, right? So now you ain't gotta pay to view things. You could just watch whatever is available, and that's scary, especially if you got kids, right? And anybody that's on here that has kids, I'm sure you all have some sort of story how, due to the internet, they probably saw something they weren't supposed to look at, or maybe it invoked some sort of anxiety or fear just because they were watching something and maybe they weren't at an age where it was appropriate for them to be watching it. So I want to start off the conversation with, what does it take, or what, as a parent, what do you have to do before you decide that your child can have a phone or have access to the internet? And I'm not talking about school, because schools have protections up, even though the kids know how to get in the dark, I should say dark sites, but into sites or whatever the case may be. But at home, like, how do y'all decide to even allow kids to get access to the internet?
Yeah, we're going through that right now, man. I've been having that conversation with my daughters, my two oldest daughters, probably for the last 6 months, and it's getting real intense right now because, at this age, like all of their friends, are online. All of their friends have, the apps that we're told that we shouldn't allow our kids to connect to. At certain times, I mean, you got, the TikToks and which is very interesting with TikTok, right? It's this Chinese company that in China, it's not the same TikTok, but and the Snapchats and the Instagram and all those things we've been kind of talking through and trying to figure out when is going to be the best time for them to get on. And my conversation with them is just that I don't feel comfortable allowing you to have these apps or allowing you to have access to these apps if you can't show me that you're responsible. So they have chores, they have responsibilities, around the house. There's certain things that they're just expected to do, without me asking. Right. And, I had a conversation with them the other day and I said, they asked me, so when are you going to let me do it? I said, well, you're going to show me that you're going to be responsible enough to do it. So by going, and cleaning off the table after dinner without being prompted to, one of your chores is getting the laundry done. So you're doing that without being prompted to. Like, that's showing me that you're being responsible, and that's showing me that and your mom that we can trust you to do the things that you're supposed to do when you're not asked or when we're not watching or when you're not prompted. And they're working through it. They're trying to get to the point where they're trying to get a lot better in doing those things without me asking. But I had to, even tonight, I had to do a little reminder to them as well too. But as soon as I said Snapchat, they were up and out. And I think that just talks about, they're up and, at the table, cleaning it off. But I think that just shows about how much having a social identity is important to young people these days, and not being a part of that crowd or not being, connected that way to your friends. It kind of is a way to, exclude young people and they feel like they're being left out, because again, that's the conversation that I'm having with them. So, for me, I just have to feel like I can trust you to do the things that you're supposed to do the right thing when I'm not around or when I'm not asking. I said, when I see that, I think y'all ready.
Yo, Ike, man, you a tough parent, dude.
I'm a realist, man.
He's real.
Isaac.
I mean, I said that facetiously because
pragmatic for sure.
I mean, I said that facetiously, but like, man, I'm right there with you though, bro, because even with my child. And
because you have two.
yo, I'm not trying to say the person's name, so that's why I said one of my children. How's that?
Yes,
Okay.
that's better.
Okay. So one of my children, I have to tell them like, hey, oh, you don't want to do such and such? All right, let me get that phone, let me get that iPad, and unplug your TV. Then they be like, oh, and then they, get in line. But I don't want to have to do that because that's gonna get old after a while, and it's not gonna be effective.
So you be on your making the band. I can't even say the person's name who we're not supposed to say. So you be on your making the band. You be shutting down the studio like, oh no, I need that phone. I'm gonna need that phone.
Yeah, bro, I gotta shut that studio down, man, because. But I mean, that's when you think about like, okay, so one of my children has Snapchat, and Snapchat must be the new teenager thing. I don't know, but that's what I see a lot. And some of the behaviors that I see from it is like this thing about streaks. Your kids talk about streaks. Your daughters talk about streaks. No,
they don't got Snapchat.
Oh, well. So basically, a snap every day, right? And she does it every day. I think she might be on like over 200 snaps as of now, maybe even more than that. So that's one of the things. And the other thing is that they can see like where each other's at. So she can say, "Oh, so and so's in Florida." Yeah, or so and so's in California, and I'm like, how y'all keeping up with each other like that, man? That don't feel kind of creepy to you? Nah, Dad. I was like, okay.
But that's dangerous, man. If she has her location on, make sure you turn that off, because the other thing about that is if somehow she connects to somebody, and she has that friends can see where she is. I mean, at that point, they got your home address where she is. They got her school address when she's at school, right? And that's without even her having that on. So, I think it's important to understand the safety features that come along with those as well, too, and those things that those things that are obviously unsafe. And that's one of them that a lot of people don't really pay attention to at Snapchat. Like your location, if you have your location on, you're allowing that app to track your location. It at 9:00 at night, it's gonna give somebody on your friend list the exact location as to where you are. So now they know where you live, right? So those are all things that, again, you just got to be mindful of as a parent these days. And so as a parent that doesn't necessarily use Snapchat or have Snapchat, but you allow your children to do it and you didn't realize that, you could really be setting them up for.
Can I throw this in there as well to kind of, because I understand where you're coming from and I agree with it. I also want to say that there is a residual benefit to it as well in terms of a safety measure. Like if someone was to somehow, like in a friends group, and I've seen that as well. I've seen the stories where somebody ended up somewhere where they weren't supposed to be, and like I know youth who, so one of the programs under my supervision, there's a group of youth who. I hear them openly say, like, yeah, we share our location with each other, like whether it's on the app or off the app. So I think when you're talking about a friend group as well, if as long as they're not, they don't have inappropriate friends. When you got some appropriate friends, it can work to your benefit as well, because it's like, hold on, so and so is where, and you know what I mean, so. There's certainly potential risks, but there's also potential safeguards in terms of it can be a benefit to as well. You know what I mean? A safety precaution as well. So
do y'all believe in checking your child's phone?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I paid a bill. You paid a bill. Like what you
sound
mean?
like a true black father right there.
Yeah.
And I see Bruce's eyes like
yeah, like man.
I'm just starting out, bro. He just got his phone today. He just got a phone today. So I'm like, so for me, it's like, this is the time I'm like, yeah, I'm learning from y'all cats. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening.
I'll say this. My children have had phones for a while. Now the youngest isn't on any apps. But like, I push the responsibility thing too. He done had one too many drops of his phone and broke the screen. The last one, I was like, listen, nah, bro, you gotta come up with the ducats for that. I don't know how you're gonna do it.
Dang.
But he came up with it, and I was like, listen, because if we're always saving you or getting you out of the hot seat, you know what I mean? We're not teaching.
Yeah.
So like, okay, hey, listen, when it costs you and you start feeling it cost, you like, oh, you know what, man? Because so this little dude, he shot.
That's why I bought my son a used phone for that reason, right there. You got to prove yourself with that phone first before I get you a brand new.
That little dude, he's sharp, man. His hustle is so like the oldest one, he'll work like odd jobs with my father-in-law to to get his ducats, right? The youngest one, my father-in-law, his grandfather told him like, hey, you bring home A's and hundreds, and you get like 20 or and if he get 20 from my father-in-law, his grandma match it, right? So he be cleaning up when he come. I mean, all you see is stacks of hundreds and A's coming from him. So like he be having his money. He be having his money up, and then what he do? He go take it to church too, and the church love him. So they all here. I mean, he cleaning up. So yeah, when it got to come out of your pocket, because he like to use his money for V-Bucks.
Oh, mine too. Well, our sons are just like
peas in the pie, two in the shoe. Yep. So he likes to use your money for V-Bucks. When you got to use your money to pay for your phone, and now that cuts into your V-Bucks, you start, you know what I mean? You start being more, attentive about how you take care of that phone. So, but yeah, and with the oldest, it's like, we who you been talking to? What's in the phone? Like, let's have those real dialogues. You know what I mean? And I, we've allowed him to be on certain socials because I look at it like this. I remember my mom and them being like, hey, we've been young, but you ain't never been old. And so for that reason, that was why they say no. That was why they said no. That was their justification for saying no. It's my justification for saying yes, because when you told me no and your justification was
you still found a way anyway.
I just did what I wanted to do and just made sure I was not
that's what your parents said when you was getting beat, right? You just did what you wanted to do.
Yeah, like oh man, listen. There were certain things on principle I would just take a beating for. Yeah, like on principle.
Yo, that's how you know you got brothers, yo. Because you just be like, you know what? Certain things, man, I'm just gonna take it, man.
Listen,
I'm gonna take my L and I'm gonna keep it pushing.
Man, my mom and my grandmother used to pit us against each other. Like if one of us got in trouble, they would send the other one to go get the switch for them. Like
that's
the switch. Like that's
that's psychological warfare, bro.
Yeah, man.
You better get a good one too.
Yeah, or you gonna get it with it. So it's like, and so you got this one looking at you like
that can stay in the past too. We ain't got to bring that to the future, man. That can stay in the past.
Yeah,
listen, trees gonna be around forever, man.
So, but I say that to say I take that logic and say, you know what I mean, rather than making him feel like he's got to work around us and keep things hidden from us. Not like, nah, you know what I'm saying? If you can explain to us why you feel like you need to be on it or want to be on that platform or whatever it is, let's have that dialogue, and then we gonna monitor it.
Yeah, that's where we are too as well. I think we all on the same page now, bro. I know you said you're brand new to the game, and I know Yeah, your son, being younger, man, he's probably just more focused on the video games and probably the YouTubes and stuff like that. But even that though, that's got to get monitored because it's not so much that like he's intentionally looking at things just be popping up,
Yeah.
like it, and it's just no end and having the conversation, not like, at least for me, I try not to chastise him, but like, hey, because most of the time it just popped up. But just having some sort of like controls on the device also be able to help so that they don't get to see content that they shouldn't be seeing.
Well,
Okay.
I tell you what else the control. Like, does he have an Android or that other company?
Android.
Okay, so with the Droid.
So how you gonna say Android but then say other company?
Because Android can apply to a lot of different manufacturers, bro.
Okay.
So it's not any one manufacturer. That other company start writing us a check.
Hey, B, we right here, B. We're not gonna worry about the guy out in the burbs. We ain't worrying about the burbs, though.
Right. So there's an app called Family Link. If utilize it, man, you can monitor and you can set limits on screen time. So like, I have there's shut off times, and so they got all those
I got it.
Yes, sir. So yeah.
I got the other company though. The other company has same
other
thing.
company too, so you can get on there too.
Yeah, so
Family Link.
Yep, Family Link.
Right.
And you can set screen limit times. You can set shut off times. So even if they're not at the screen limit time, at a certain time of the day, it just shut off. So their phone
They be hot too, boy.
locked.
They be hot.
Yeah,
boy.
hey, listen. Sad face dude.
That's where you hit them with the, you know what it is.
It's that time, buddy.
So ain't nothing new to this.
Man. So I know in schools they don't, at least the schools that my kids go to, they don't allow them to have phones during the day. I'm assuming it's the same at your schools. I think it's a New York State thing, right?
Yeah, it's New York State. It's gone through as a policy.
Our charter schools, if you're a charter or private school, you don't have to. Well, if you're a private school, you don't have to abide by it.
Okay.
My thing with this is I feel like that's a relationship thing. You know what I mean? In terms of, I get it. I do think that there is a degree of, I feel like it's, I don't want to say it's lazy educationally, but I think that there's got to be some more creative and intentional thought behind how do we utilize these devices to be more integrated into the learning, because if you kind of bridge that gap, you'll see, I feel like there's a way to see like the usage not being appropriate, but they want the devices, they want to be on the devices. If you incentivize it and you make it a part of what they're doing, like I don't know if you are you familiar with Padlet? So Padlet is like a platform where let's say you ask a question on like let's say if we posed a question to everybody on here and everybody watching, and we say, hey, how many of you all feel like your kids should have a phone? Like if they're on Padlet, you know what I mean, and they're on the link that we share, then they can all respond on that to that question that we post. You know what I mean? So we looking at it in real time. Like you can do real time engagement and interaction with certain technology that they're that they want to be on and want to be a part of anyway. So
okay.
You can incorporate it into lesson plans, but you gotta. It takes being intentional. It takes being creative. Like I was on I think Toya might have sent it to me. My wife sent it to me, or I sent it to her. But it was on TikTok. Like a teacher used like anime, like Dragon Ball Z or something, to teach physics. Like they drew drew it all out on the board, and it was like it was real creative. Again, it's intentionally being creative enough to look outside of just ways to just be punitive and saying how can we, because the reality is every time technology evolves, there's going, you know what I mean, there's going to be that period where we're pushing up against it, but it's not going anywhere. So rather than trying to fight against it, if I feel like if we can find ways to creatively integrate and incorporate, we can bridge the gap and both get, you know what I mean, what we ultimately want.
Well, there's more technology coming though. I think that's the part that people get twisted, is that once you get used to one technology, so before we had the block phones, right? Then the block phones, then we had the pagers.
Bro, we had the overhead projector. That's what we had.
Oh, you had the
overhead projector.
You had the right on there.
And then we had the TV. We had the TV on the cart.
Yeah. Oh man, if you wasn't in school with the TV on the cart, I'm gonna question your childhood, because man, on Fridays when that cart came out, we knew what time it was. Man, we was chilling all day.
To this day, I'll never forget, man. I was in ninth grade, and that was when the OJ verdict came down, and like there was only so many TVs on the cart, so it was like 4 classrooms all huddled up in like.
Yo, bro, that was like Juneteenth, bro. It was just crazy. Yo, if you didn't catch that episode, man, go through and search our YouTube, because we got that episode. I think it's from last year. I think we talked about that sometime like that. But hey, just so everybody knows, if you haven't had a chance, hit us up with a comment, or if you got a question, because in about a minute or two, we about to get up out of here. This is gonna be a short night, because I gotta get my wife from the airport, and she's still on the plane.
He's lonely. He misses.
Yes, I am lonely, so I'm gonna go get her.
He wants to sleep.
You want me to start singing?
Nah, please don't.
Okay, all right.
You can sing. You can sing.
Yo, did y'all see that video? Did y'all see the video where the dude said he could sing?
Nah, but
I gotta send y'all that video. Anyway, he couldn't sing. That's the point.
Yeah, I figured that's where you was going with it.
So if y'all want, man, go ahead and hey, listen, y'all. If you were liking this conversation, we'll revisit it next week, because there's a whole different section of this conversation we didn't even have yet. In terms of like inappropriate things that are seen, like how do we triage that? So just be tuned to next week, and we'll go ahead and we'll tackle this issue a little bit more. But shout outs, bros. Who we want to shout out today?
Yo, shout out to Dr. Nelms, who popped up in the chat. I don't know if he's still here, but we definitely appreciate you tuning in and tapping in. Good to see you. Check him out on the radio. I'm not sure what day you come on, but he's always got his talking about the stuff that U of R is doing and making sure that the community's staying healthy. So shout out to Dr. Nelms. Shout out to Rodney Sharp, who was in the chat as well too.
Shout out to
brother
you,
from a different frat. We appreciate you tuning in as well, and everybody else that is behind the scenes but may not have shout us out today or got on and left a comment. Make sure you drop a heart or a like or a thumbs up, something in the chat, just so we know that you're there. We appreciate you all for listening.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, shout out again to G-Hop CTC, man, all, and everybody involved in getting these kids exposed and giving them a platform to just showcase themselves, man. They went up and they dominated in Canada, and that, I felt like that was a good look for them. Also shout out to George Radney, Real Deal Sports Show. We interviewed some promoters, and Don Patterson, Derek Gamble, who are working with a lot of local boxers. If anybody doesn't know, there's a huge pay-per-view boxing match in Rochester this weekend, April 25th. So that's huge to have a pay-per-view in Rochester event, an event that's getting pay-per-view level coverage in Rochester, and it's
Yo, just make sure you're paying the bill if you're gonna buy it.
Right.
I'm about to find the bootleg online.
It's gonna be a lot of the top local amateur fighters as well as some professionals. So again, this is happening right here in our backyard, Rochester, New York. Man, it's dope. Algeria Johnson, who is an Olympic hopeful, straight out of Rochester, man. Again, it's amazing. So, just shout out to all the local talent doing amazing things right now, and to the home team, to my wife, man, my amazing wife and kids. We told y'all last week that we had the science fair coming up, man. The young boy, he was, man, he impressed as always. He always lights, camera, action when it comes to the young one, man. He did his thing, and all on his own, right? So they had a line a mile long. So he did slushy science for the science fair project, where just broke down the science of a slushy, and youth were like, hey, can we get a slushy? He was like, you got to learn about him first. Adults come by, can we get a slushy? He said, after you learn about him. And they would go into their spiel. Like he wasn't just he wanted you to understand, like he put in the hard work to learn the information. So he made sure people had to hear about it before they just got a slushy, and I respected it.
No doubt.
That's what's up.
Yeah. First of all, I want to shout out to my wife, baby. I'm coming. Coming to get you.
I'll be there soon.
No.
As soon as I get home.
Say what you said at first again one more time.
Nah, I'm gonna say next thing I'm gonna say is I want to shout out to I want to shout out to my mom, celebrating 50 years. She's heading down to the convention. So shout out to her. Bro, appreciate the gift, bro. She loved it. I gave it to her yesterday. So she definitely extends her appreciation, for sure. Shout out to Brother John Underwood for sliding by the crib real quick, hand that over. So appreciate it for sure. And then lastly, to keep it quick, I want to shout out to my big bro, my oldest blood brother. He's having a procedure done tomorrow on his heart, and it's not as invasive as mine, but just definitely want to ask for prayers for him as he goes under the knife. Should be a day procedure, and then it'll be done. My brother's super healthy, runs all the time, so it was kind of odd to see that this is something that he's dealing with, but God is faithful, so definitely want to ask for prayers for that. Appreciate y'all, brothers, and all of you. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
As for me now, I want to shout out to all y'all fellas, man. I'm learning from you. I'm the young one in this group when it comes to kids, when it comes to the kiddies, I'm the Neo, you know what I'm saying? In the game, I'm grateful for y'all brothers, man, and all that y'all guys have done and taught me, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's by straight conversations or just by even talking, and I'm paying attention to what's going on. I want to shout out to my pastor, Ernie Walker, Full Gospel Tabernacle. Shout Ernie out, man. Thanks for the message you left me Sunday morning. I appreciated that message. Appreciate that. Shout out Rachel Grant, Doris Singleton, and everybody else in the rock, man. Toy. I'm still looking for Raquel's number. I thought I have it, but I don't have it. I get Raquel's information. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, I'm grateful and I'm thankful for y'all brothers and for everybody that's watching. That's it.
Well, yo, listen, y'all tune in the next time, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We will be back. Hey, what's up? What's up, nephew?
Hey, Jay.
You said, what up?
What up?
What's good?
He gonna be me today. He got to turn it off when we done. So,
well, listen, we done, bro. We
done.
Okay.
We done, man. KJ, man. Peace out, KJ. You good?
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Shout out to my son Eli. His birthday's on the 23rd.
Shout out to
Yes,
Eli.
sir. Yes, sir. Eli Buckets tomorrow.
Oh, okay. 23rd. Okay.
All right, bro.
Desire, man. Happy birthday, boy.
Oh yeah, happy birthday to the young one.
Happy birthday, young boy.
Yeah.
Mwah, mwah.
Boy got his phone. You can't tell him nothing.
Can't tell him nothing.
You got that smile on for the next 5 days.
Yo, KJ. What's up, KJ?
What's up, KJ?
Say what's up.
Hi.
All right, y'all.
All right, man. Later,
Everybody.
y'all.
Later.
Peace.